Did you know every year, around 1.3 million people die in car accidents worldwide? But it's not just ordinary people whose lives are taken. Celebrities too are victims of these tragic incidents. Car accidents take no prisoners, whether you're a rising star or a legend. From the bright lights of Hollywood to the music charts, some of the most beloved figures in pop culture have met untimely ends in crashes that shook the world. But why do these accidents happen? And what impact do they leave behind? Watch till the end to hear these heartbreaking stories and what they leave behind. 1. Angie Stone. There's something about Angie Stone's music that stays with you. Her soulful voice, those smooth R&B hits, the kind that make you feel something deep inside. She wasn't just a musician, she was an icon, a voice that defined a generation of music lovers. But on March 1st, 2025, a routine tour bus ride would tragically take a turn no one could have anticipated. Angie was traveling with her band along Alabama's Interstate 65, looking forward to another night on stage when disaster struck. The bus, a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, suddenly lost control. What followed was chaos. The vehicle overturned, and a semi-trailer truck crashed into them with brutal force. Angie, the 63-year-old star, didn't make it. Her bandmates were fortunate to survive, but the loss of such a powerful voice, it felt like the music died that day. Fans around the world, who had grown up with her music, were left heartbroken. The world had lost not just a singer, but a cultural force. Can you imagine the heartbreak of that moment? Her fans will never forget her. 2. Laura Lynch. Laura Lynch, the 65-year-old founding member of the Dixie Chicks, was known for her deeply emotional country music roots and the kind of voice that felt like home to anyone who loved the genre. She wasn't just a singer, she was a part of the soundtrack of so many lives. But her life came to a sudden halt on December 22nd, 2023. It was supposed to be just another peaceful drive through a quiet stretch of Route 62 in Texas. But in an instant, everything changed. A pickup truck, swerving uncontrollably, collided head-on with her vehicle. The impact was devastating, violent, unexpected, and brutal. No one could have predicted that Laura's ride would end that day, not like this. Laura died instantly, leaving the world in shock. She was gone before the world could even comprehend what had just happened. A beloved voice in country music, silenced forever. You'd think someone with so much talent, so much to offer would be invincible, wouldn't you? That maybe such a tragic end was something that only happened to other people, not someone like her. But as we know, life doesn't always follow the script we expect. 3. Chance Perdomo. Then there's Chance Perdomo, a rising star who was known for his roles in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and Gen V. His talent was undeniable. He had that magnetic screen presence, and his acting made you feel like he had a long career ahead of him. But on a cold March day in 2024, that potential was tragically cut short. Chance, only 27 years old, was riding his motorcycle down a quiet road when things went horribly wrong. It wasn't a collision with another vehicle that led to the tragedy, it was a solo crash. He lost control, and despite all efforts to save him, he couldn't be revived. His death shook fans, friends, and everyone who had watched him grow as an actor. Someone so young, so full of promise, gone in an instant. Can you even imagine the disbelief his loved ones must have felt? One moment he was filming a scene, cracking jokes with his co-stars. The next, he was gone. It's a reminder of how fragile life can be. Chance's story is a stark proof that no matter how much potential someone has, life is never guaranteed. 4. Jeff Sperbeck. Then there's the story of Jeff Sperbeck, a well-known sports agent who was deeply connected within the NFL's elite circles. He was 62 years old, a man with wealth, influence, and a strong network of friends. But on April 26, 2025, an accident would take his life in a way no one could have ever predicted. It wasn't just any ordinary car crash. Instead, it was a freak accident that happened on a golf course of all places. Sperbeck was riding in a golf cart driven by none other than NFL legend John Elway, a man known for his leadership both on and off the field. As the cart made a sharp turn at the Madison Club in California, disaster struck. Sperbeck, who was not wearing a seatbelt, fell off the cart. But falling off wasn't the worst part. He hit his head hard, causing a traumatic brain injury. Despite being rushed to the hospital, Spurbeck would pass away 4 days later. Imagine the heartbreak. John Elway, a close friend of Spurbeck, was the one to call 911. It's a moment no one could have predicted, especially for Elway. Having to witness someone so close to you go through something so traumatic. It's unimaginable. This kind of rare accident, so simple yet so devastating, leaves us wondering just how fleeting life can be. 5. Treat Williams. Treat Williams was one of those actors you could instantly recognize his face, his voice, his undeniable charm. He had the kind of presence that made you feel like you knew him, even if you'd never met him. But on June 12, 2023, that familiar face was tragically taken away. Williams, at 71 years old, was riding his motorcycle in Shaftesbury, Vermont, enjoying a ride on what seemed like a normal day. That is, until disaster struck. A car making a left turn right in front of him caused the fatal crash. The impact was immediate, and Williams did not survive. In the blink of an eye, one of Hollywood's most enduring actors was gone. The driver of the car, Ryan Koss, later pled guilty to negligent driving resulting in death. But for Williams' fans and loved ones, that fact could never bring him back. The shock of losing someone who had brought joy to millions of people over his decades-long career hit hard. It makes you think about life's unpredictable nature, how, in one moment, someone can go from being a part of the world to simply being a memory. 6. Stephen Peat. Stephen Peat might not be a name that rings a bell for everyone, but for hockey fans, he was unforgettable. The 44-year-old former NHL enforcer had lived a tough life on the ice, but no one expected his life to end in such a brutal way. On August 30th, 2023, while crossing a quiet street in Langley, British Columbia, Peat was struck by a car. It wasn't a minor accident. He was critically injured, and despite weeks of battling, he passed away 2 weeks later. For someone who had taken so many hits on the ice, no one imagined that the real blow would come from an accident like this. The world lost a legend that day, not just a player, but a person who was still in the prime of his life. It's hard to wrap your mind around the fragility of life. Celebrities, those who seem untouchable, invincible, are just as vulnerable as the rest of us. Their deaths remind us that no one is immune to fate, and even the brightest stars can be snuffed out in an instant. It's a sobering thought, but one that makes us appreciate life a little more. These tragedies don't just leave a mark on the families and friends left behind. They also leave a hole in the hearts of fans everywhere. Thank you for taking the time to remember these incredible people with me. If you were moved by these stories, hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more real, raw, and unforgettable stories. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you never miss an update. Let's keep honoring the legacies of those we've lost and keep their stories alive.